Oh, without a doubt. And you know what? Big Pun, I think he was hotter than Biggie in my opinion. He was my favorite rapper. Hold on, bro. Let me call you right back. Oh my God, do. Somebody please say it ain't so. Thank y'all for tuning in to Docs Daily, where you get highly classified documentations from your boy, Sean Blasey. Ha ha ha. But ain't nothing funny though. Rest in peace to Big Pun. This video is to celebrate Big Pun. Me personally, I don't believe Fat Joe did anything to harm Big Pun or his family. I think Fat Joe was an amazing friend, but I have been doing some research and I found out some things about Fat Joe and Remy Ma that a lot of y'all probably never even thought about. For instance, ever since Remy Ma entered the picture, Big Pun was out of the picture. Fat Joe was making hits with Big Pun. Now he's still making hits with Remy Ma. Not to mention, Big Pun is the person that discovered Remy Ma. And as soon as she started popping, Big Pun was out of the picture, like I said earlier. So it's a whole lot of stuff we're going to get into. I need y'all to stay tuned and answer the question at the bottom of the screen. Me personally, I don't believe Fat Joe would do anything like that to Big Pun. Like I said, I love Fat Joe. He the only artist that'll go to Africa like it ain't nothing. You got black people scared to go to Africa. Fat Joe up in Africa in the slums chilling with the people. So Fat Joe, I love you, bro. I know you real, but they've been spreading these rumors for a long time and we got to get to the bottom of this. And the reason why a lot of people believe that you had something to do with Big Pun's demise is because y'all could have got him a salad. And this goes for his wife too. And shout out to her. No disrespect to his wife, but you the one that was supposed to be doing the cooking. Y'all had all that money. How come y'all ain't take him to get no vegetarian food? But we gonna talk about that. We gonna get into how Big Pun and Remy Ma was involved with each other. And then Fat Joe and Remy Ma was involved with each other. And Big Pun and Fat Joe is like brothers. They used each other for pillows and everything. So let's just get into the documentary, man. Before we do that, y'all need to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification button, y'all. Don't forget to show me some love because all I ever do is show y'all some love. And another thing I need for y'all to do is do me a big old favor and hit that Cash App, $ Sean Blaze Docs. Without further ado, let's get into this information, man. Y'all need to see this. This is Big Pun's grandfather talking about the situation.
What's up, people? What's up? This is real quick. I'm gonna do this video real quick, man, because I just saw something that it got me a little upset, you know, and what I saw, I don't respect that, man, if it's true. Cuban Link from the, Cuban Link from ex-Terror Squad, the one that got ripped by Fat Joe, he's talking about, and I don't know how true is this, and if it is true, that's fucked up. He's talking about that Fat Joe stole millions off of Big Pun. Now, I'm thinking about this, yo. Big Pun came out and he had a platinum album. His album went platinum. Whatever Joe signed them up for, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Joe didn't give him $1 million. I'm pretty Joe probably gave him a couple hundreds of thousands to sign up under him, under Joe. Matter of fact, remember, they didn't even have no terror.
Hold on, yo. That got me thinking because Big Pun's wife been running around for years talking about Fat Joe is robbing her and her family. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no place to live. We living in a homeless shelter. Fat Joe not looking out. I mean, Big Pun went platinum a whole bunch of times, sold plenty of albums. So why is it that Fat Joe's family, Big Pun's family, was out here struggling, y'all? Listen.
When Pun came in with Cuban Link and Tony and Tony Sunshine, the Terror Squad popped up. Now, I'm talking about when Fat Joe and Big Pun first started fucking with each other. I heard that, as a matter of fact, I didn't even hear this. This came from Fat Joe's mouth, that Pun lend him $10 million.
What?
Fat Joe a couple of years ago owed the tax money.
Wait a minute. So Big Pun lended Fat Joe $10 million? Hold on, run that back. Hold up. Listen, y'all.
With each other. I heard that, as a matter of fact, I didn't even hear this. This came from Fat Joe's mouth. That Punt lend him $10 million. Fat Joe, a couple of years ago, owed the tax money. He owed the mad tax money. And Punt lend him $10 million. Look it up. I'm pretty sure it's there. I'm pretty sure it's there.
Okay, y'all. Now y'all heard that part. Fat Joe was having tax problems, and Big Pun lended him $10 million allegedly. Now this around the same time Remy Ma came into the picture. Around the same time, Big Pun passed away, and then eventually, Fat Joe wound up going to jail over the tax money, y'all. And people wondering how you got all that money and you not paying your taxes. Listen at this, man.
It's so hard. Rolling with the squad, we like God. Stickers at the bar,
Hey, home with the Grammy.
Fat Joe pled guilty to tax evasion at federal court in Newark, New Jersey yesterday, June 24th. He was sentenced to 4 months in prison for failing to pay taxes on $1 million he earned between 2007 and 2008. Joe actually lives in Florida. However, the feds went after him in New Jersey, linking him to his companies Terror Squad Productions, Inc. and Miramar Music Touring, Inc., which were registered in New Jersey. Fat Joe is currently working on his 11th studio album, which was to have come out in 2013, but will likely be delayed due to the sentence. Joe is one of the most...
Now listen, y'all. When it comes to Terror Squad, you only got two people that was making money with the label, and that was Fat Joe and Big Pun was the only artist that was really doing some numbers. Now, the Terror Squad went platinum off of the backs of the two people I just mentioned. Now, with Remy Ma, it's a whole lot of money involved between these two artists. If he allegedly owed Big Pun all this money, the Remy Ma money that would have been coming in if Big Pun was still alive, Fat Joe wouldn't have seen a dime of that. Not Fat Joe, Big Pun wouldn't have seen a dime of that money. Listen, y'all.
Prolific songwriters in hip-hop during the last decade, and he talked about his favorite place to write.
Two places. I like writing in my house. I really don't like in the studio because it's so enclosed. I like to look at stuff. And then when I'm really trying to write a song, a hit song, I write on the highway. So I have macho job.
But the truth is, at one point in time, Big Pun was writing all his raps. Now, I done told y'all that, and y'all got to follow me because it's a timeline that we going through here. I'm not trying to convince you that Big Pun was sacrificed by Fat Joe. But in order to sacrifice somebody, like I said in my other videos, you ain't got to be the one to pull the trigger. You can be the bad influence. Y'all knew this man weighed over 800 pounds and he could barely walk. The whole Terror Squad on stage with Big Pun, and he can't even do the show. He got to sit down to do his raps. And all them dudes around him didn't say, hey, man, this is a problem. You too big to even do your raps. You can't even breathe. They too busy on stage with they icy chains, with they jewelry. And they like, oh, well, as long as we get into the bag. It's a lot of people that neglected this man. Now, I know Big Pun was a grown-ass man. But when you got all this money involved in the situation, it's like, damn, if he croak, somebody gonna cash in, somebody gonna get that money. You know what I'm saying? But that's Negro here, no there. And like I said, for my Latino people out there, the reason why I feel like I could speak on Big Pun is because I know that he loved the culture. He was about hip hop at the end of the day. And hip hop is a universal language. I may not know Spanish, but I know hip hop and I know them fried beans and rice and all that stuff too. And them plantains and all that other good stuff. So when you see me at your Spanish restaurant, don't deny me no food because we really gonna have a problem. But y'all need to listen at this because Remy Ma explains how she met Big Pun before she even knew who a Fat Joe was. And now when you see them, they all hugged up on each other. Her big breasts is damn near her face. And you know, I'm going to just go out and say it since we doing a whole broadcast about it. Since I'm doing a whole documentary on the subject, me personally, I believe they got something going on. I believe it's deeper than rap. I believe the chemistry between Remy Ma and Fat Joe goes beyond music because this woman went out there and got a big booty and big breasts. And if Papoose married her when she was still flat, she ain't do that for Papoose. Now, y'all gonna have to listen to this and let me know what y'all think about this, man.
Now, we saw Remy with Terror Squad early on, but how did you guys initially link up together?
Big Pun.
Big Pun.
I met Big Pun, and from like the first day I met him, he was like, "All right, you're my little sister. Let me introduce you to your, 50 crazy brothers." And that's pretty much how I linked up with Joe through Pun. After Pun passed, it didn't make sense for me.
Y'all hear that? That's how she linked up with Joe when Pun passed. So Remy Ma and Big Pun didn't even get a chance to do no songs together. It's like, oh, you got this young new talent here, huh? This your girl? This the one you rocking with? I'm gonna have to choose. It's gonna be either you or her. I owe you 10 mil, allegedly. You got this hot new talent and she fine too. They love what they call black girls. They love the La Negras. She just so happened to be a La Negra. And Fat Joe was feeling her. So let me run that back just in case y'all ain't catch that. Listen, man. Listen.
Early on, but how did you guys initially link up together?
Big Pun.
Big Pun.
I met Big Pun, and from like the first day I met him, he was like, "All right, you're my little sister. Let me introduce you to your, 50 crazy brothers." And that's pretty much how I linked up with Joe through Pun. After Pun passed, it didn't make sense for me to go anywhere else. Like, I had other people reaching out and stuff. It just didn't feel right to like just, branch off and go somewhere else. I stuck with what I know, and I had already grown to love these guys and stuff like that. And it was just like,
you hear that? She said, he introduced me to the Terror Squad. And when he passed, I didn't want to go nowhere because I already started to love these guys. I already started to know these guys. Let me point something out to y'all. It's a whole lot of dark-skinned sisters out here with light-skinned babies. And you want to know why that is? It's because they looking for the lightest baby daddy they can find. And Remy Ma, if you listening, I ain't talking about you because y'all got a beautiful baby girl, you and Papoose, but that don't mean that you ain't got nothing going on with Fat Joe. And that don't mean you had nothing going on with Big Pun at the time neither. Because why you, out of all the people in the ghetto, it's a whole bunch of beautiful Latino men and one dark-skinned female. Y'all already know what time it is. So she could have went and got another record deal, but no, I feel good with the Terror Squad. They was raising hell on that ass, allegedly. Listen.
So when you hooked up with Big Pun, like, did you spit for him? Like when you first...
Wait, run that
crazy
back.
brothers. And that's pretty much how I linked up with Joe through Pun. After Pun passed, it didn't make sense for me to go anywhere else. Like, I had other people reaching out and stuff. It just didn't feel right to like just, branch off and go somewhere else. I stuck with what I know, and I had already grown to love these guys and stuff like that. And it was just like, that's what it is.
When you hooked up with Big Pun, like, did you spit for him? Like when you first saw him? Like how did that first meeting go?
Somebody that knew Pun and knew somebody that I was walking with. I was coming from school actually, and they were talking, and the guy, he was like, "Yeah, I'm at Pun's house." The kid that I was with was like, "Really? Oh, this girl right here, she raps." So he's like, "Yeah, let me hear something." I'm like, "No, like, who are you? I'm not rapping for you." Like,
so she was just on her way home from school one day. Somebody was like, "Hey, let me take you to Big Pun so you can spit a rap." She's like, "Okay, sure." Listen, y'all. Listen to how this sound.
That's just how I was back then. He's like, "No, seriously, let me hear something. I'll take you over to Pun's house." So I'll probably spit like a couple of bars or something. And he's like, "No, I'm going to call him on the phone." And then we went over like literally around the corner from where my mom lived in the Bronx at the time. And Pun was in there with, like a lot of members from the Terror Squad. And he's like, "No, let me hear something." And I rapped for like 2 minutes or something. He's like, "Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Let me hear something else. That may be the only rhyme you got." And I just went and I rapped for like probably like 10, 15.
Y'all got to see this. The whole time she's talking, Fat Joe can't help himself. He looking over. She got her shirt all open for this man. She come home all thick illicit and jumps into this man's arms. We together 24/7. When you, let me explain something to y'all. When you got a crush on somebody, or if you feeling somebody and by no way, shape, or form am I trying to make this video a Fat Joe, Remy Ma love affair or nothing like that. But let's just be real, y'all. He a grown ass man and she got big titles. So they clearly not related by blood. So we gonna do another song. We make hits together. We do so. Oh, y'all making hits, all right. Listen at this.
15 minutes straight. He was like, all right, now, let me get your number. I'm gonna call you, whatever. And of course, I'm thinking this bullshit. Like, sure you are. And the next day, when I came home from school,
Hold on, wait a minute. She was still in school. Now, I ain't putting nothing past nobody, and I damn sure ain't trying to put nothing on Big Pun because he's no longer here. But you got this girl rapping for you. She's still in high school. Let me take your number. I'm going to give you a call. Take your number and give you a call. Oh, because you got those hot raps. Listen.
that may be the only rhyme you got. And I just went and I rapped for probably 10, 15 minutes straight. He was like, all right, now, let me get your number. I'm going to call you, whatever. And of course, I'm thinking this bullshit. Like, sure you are. And the next day, when I came home from school the next day, my grandmother, I was staying with my grandmother at the time, and she was like, I just hear her on the phone like, what? Do you have something in your mouth? I don't understand what you're saying. She's like, so she hands me the phone. She's like, I think it's for you. He's like, yo, I'm downstairs. Come downstairs. I'm like, downstairs where? He's like,
Big Pun came to scoop her the next day. Outside her projects. Called the phone. Grandmama picked up the phone. She come home from school. Big Pun in the projects. Leaned back on the cell phone. Like, yo, come outside. I gotta holler at you.
Live in Castle Hill, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm in front of your projects. Come downstairs. And I go downstairs and he's in his wide body Benz, signing autographs. He's like, yo, get in. So I get in the car. He goes, you know how to braid? Oh, black girls know how to braid. You know how to braid, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I need some braids for this video I'm shooting today. I'm like, you're shooting a video today? So he's like, yeah, come on in. I'm braiding his hair while we're in the car. I start braiding.
Pause. Do you know how to braid? All black girls know how to braid. Sure, I know how to braid. I need some braids for my video. And this is completely innocent, y'all. I'm not trying to paint a picture like Big Pun was R. Kelly. Because to be real with y'all, he had plenty of options if he wanted to. And Remy Ma wasn't even built like that. She ain't had a fake body. She was just a regular, sister from the hood. So do not, and I repeat, do not think I'm trying to paint Big Pun to be some type of predator or nothing. He did this young girl a favor. She from the projects, he from the hood. He like, oh, you got some bars, we can get some money together. But we ain't get around to the part where Fat Joe got introduced to Remy Ma. Listen.
We driving to the video shoot with him, Fat Joe, and Jennifer Lopez. So it was just from that day, I was just with him every single day after that, literally every day.
So Pun passes, but you guys still remain Terror Squad.
Right.
And then Lean Back comes out, which really kind of cements the whole thing.
You're skipping for Jealous One Still Envy came
Jealous One Still Envy.
Which was very successful.
Right.
And that, kind of set the platform for us to do another Terror Squad album and put out records like, Lean Back and Take Me Home and things of that nature.
Okay. What ultimately led you guys to start splitting apart?
I would say on my part, once I had my own situation, because during the whole recording of the Terror Squad album, Lean Back, all that, I didn't have a record deal at that point. I was on all these records and we had the #1 record in the world and I didn't have a record deal.
Why didn't you have a record deal?
Because my original record deal that I had was at Loud Records, and Loud Records had folded. So, all the artists that was over there, they was,
Pause. So she didn't even have a record deal. She was hanging around to get a deal. So it was making money, her and Fat Joe, but she still had obligations with Big Pun. I hope y'all following me because this is about to get real deep right now. Y'all need to see this real quick. And this is kind of disturbing, but this is Fat Joe and Remy Ma on the Wendy Williams show. And this is kind of crazy. Y'all got to see this though.
I remember years ago outside the radio station, DMX, who nobody knew, was waiting for me and gave me a cassette and saw me throw it out the window 3 blocks down.
Oh, damn.
Life could have been different. Remy's coming up next. Keep it here. Hi. So as you can see,
y'all got to see this because this is kind of bizarre. This is Fat Joe and Remy Ma on the Wendy Williams show. Look at Remy Ma. Now she on the road with this man all day, every day. They doing shows. They in the studio together. They everywhere together. And this is how she is around this man. And I know a lot of people watching like, so that don't mean nothing. But what y'all don't understand is Fat Joe is Boricua. And Papitos like Totitos. Hey, if you don't want to believe that, then that's on you. But I know for a fact, my homeboy Lewis will let you know what's up. My main man Carlos will let you know what the deal is. Look, it's 2 things that brothers like Fat Joe like, and that's chocolate and buttermilk. And Remy Ma got both. So you do the math. Listen to what they talking about on this show. Then we're going to get to the sacrifice. Listen.
Here. She's one of the best female MCs in the game. Say hello to Rem. And by the way, they're real. Because I remember the other day on High. And
she lying her ass off. Ain't nothing real about Remy Ma's breast. They already lying for this woman. She got her mouth wide open, and Joe, he can't even sit still. He might have to lean back on this one. Listen.
Like, no, they're real. And I poked them. And they jiggled. But she got a bra on that's 2 sizes.
This says adds 2 cup sizes, but I didn't realize it's happening. I was like, what is happening?
No,
it's double. I have double D's. I did not need 2 cup sizes at all.
And Papoose
Did
is
you
here,
see
your
Fat?
husband. So he's
Hold on, wait a minute. Did you see Fat Joe? Remy Ma done turned into a bimbo, y'all. I've wear double D's and my breast is too big for my body. And Fat Joe looking like, God damn. Look at Fat Joe when she's saying this stuff. Listen.
Female MCs in the game. Say hello to Rem. And by the way, they're real. Because I remember the other day on High. And Remy was like, no, they're real.
Look at
and
Fat Joe.
I poked them. And they jiggled. But she got a bra
He
on
like,
that's
God
2
damn.
sizes.
This says adds 2 cup sizes, but I didn't realize it's
Poppy
happening.
can't even breathe.
No,
Look.
It's double. I have double D's. I did not need 2 cup sizes.
He
at
like,
all.
God damn.
Papoose is here, your husband. So he's loving it.
Fat Joe licking his lips. Did y'all see the way he licked his lips? And I'm not going to keep doing this because I know we got more important stuff to get to. But this man is hot in his drawers for this woman next to him. Her breast and her face is lighter than her legs. Y'all got to see this. Look at the leg and face ratio. Why is her face milk chocolate and her legs is dark chocolate? And Fat Joe love all that shit. Look.
2 cup sizes at all.
And Papoose is here, your husband. So he's loving it.
Like, God damn, fuck a Papoose. And not to mention, Fat Joe beat the brakes off of Papoose. And if you don't believe me, I got proof that Fat Joe beat a ham sandwich out of Papoose because he was jealous that Papoose got with Remy Ma. And that's the reason why they had a falling out in the first place. According to a lot of people. I don't know this for sure, but this is what they talk about in the hood. When Papoose got with Remy Ma before she went to jail, Fat Joe wasn't having that. Like, no, that's my cookies and cream. Listen at this, man. This is Fat Joe talking about beating a ham sandwich out of Remy Ma's husband back in the day.
He says, well, you want it to be a problem? At that point,
Hold on. Listen.
We got Fat Joe on the line.
Hello?
Jonesy, since when you know me to be a punk in your life?
No, I ain't call you a punk.
All right, this is what I'm hearing. Yo, Jonesy, you have never known Fat Joe to back down from anybody in the history of mankind. Papoose is a pussy boy. Weigh about 60 pounds.
Joe.
Listen.
You can't, but I gotta, if you.
Fat Joe going off. He calling Papoose all out his name. What is the beef about? If you don't think it's about Remy Ma, then you can believe whatever you want to believe. Keep on listening.
again, Ebro's gonna make me dead the interview. You gotta keep it clean.
I don't really care about it. I'm just
All right,
trying to
well,
let you know.
I'm telling you that I want you to talk. I want you
Yo,
to say
calm
whatever
down.
you want to say.
Hold up. Calm
you
down,
can't
Jonesy. Calm down.
You're being
Calm
too
down.
descriptive.
Calm down, Jonesy. You talking about
I'm
me
fine.
every other week.
I'm
Every
fine.
other week.
Joey, you
Young
know what?
Review.
Let's me and you talk. Let's not even do it on air because it seems like you have an issue with me. So we'll talk behind the scenes.
Joe was hot. He was hot. I dare you mess around with Remy Ma. You know that's my artist. You know I'm connected with Remy Ma. Now your whack ass out here dealing with my chick. Listen, y'all.
DJ Whiteout.
All right, it's 9:37 on Miss Jones in the morning. So Fat Joe is on the phone, and the reason why I had to stop. No, he's up. Okay. Yeah, the reason why I had to stop is because he said a cuss that ain't permitted on the radio, right. And then he kept on going, so I had to stop him because I'm not getting in trouble. I can say certain curses, but other ones I can't, and he said the one that I can't. But so what I did was we've been taping him so that we could play back his version or the truth or whatever it is that he had to say. But now we're back up and Joe's on the line. So Joe, if you feel like starting from the top again, you can. Or
No, I don't want to start from the top again.
then you gotta hold on so that I could play back the interview.
He's so mad. They can't even do the interview with him. They're like, Joe, we want to talk about the situation, but he talking so crazy. They can't even broadcast it on satellite radio. They had to pre-record it, re-record it, try to edit it out, bleep it out. Joe, you all over the place. We don't even know if we can do this. Are you ready? This woman is pissed. Like, I'm about to lose my job because Papoose and Remy Ma is messing with each other and Fat Joe is mad. Listen, y'all.
All right, then hold on, and here we go.
Hello, so I'm on the radio, so check this out. New York City, y'all know me better than this. Papoose weighs about 60 pounds flat. I will knock out Papoose with one hand behind my back. This boy here, man, Cassidy did not set up Papoose. America, you gotta know Cassidy didn't know nothing about what was going on. 50 Cent is up on the radio disrespecting me. Papoose in the background laughing, joking around. He's Remy Martin's husband. She got diarrhea out her mouth. All I ever...
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is when they was married. Papoose is 50 pounds. I beat his ass. He's Remy Martin's husband. She got diarrhea out the mouth. Her breath be stinking. Fat Joe going off. But now they buddy, lubby. They don't kiss the maid up. Listen, y'all.
For this bum chick was take her out the project and get a beamer.
Oh, my God.
Joking around.
He called her a bum chick. In other words, a bum bitch. Listen.
He's Remy Martin's husband. She got diarrhea out her mouth. All I ever do for this bum chick was take her out the projects and get a Beamers and Benzes, move her to Jersey and put money in her pocket. Let's keep it real. That's her man. He can't control his girl.
Now that goes to show that it's deeper than just rap. This ain't just hip hop. When you get mad at a female artist and now she a bum chick and I bought her clothes and I took her out the projects and that sounds like something you do for somebody you in a relationship. Because if it was just hip hop, why would you even go at her like that? You know what I'm saying? That's what a pimp say about one of his hoes. And I'm just being real. Listen.
She up there disrespecting my wife, my family, talking Jersey and put money in her pocket.
Hold on, run that back.
America, you gotta know Cassidy didn't know nothing about what was going on. 50 Cent is up on the radio disrespecting me. Papoose in the background laughing, joking around. He's Remy Martin's husband. She got diarrhea out her mouth. All I ever do for this bum chick was take her out the projects and get a Beamers and Benzes, move her to Jersey and put money in her pocket. Let's keep it real. That's her man. He can't control his girl. She up there disrespecting my wife, my family, talking reckless on the radio. All right, cool. Jackpot. I got a show in North Carolina. I'm eating dinner. They come up and they tell me, yo, Papoose is downstairs in the first floor. There's Yo Gotti is there, the rapper. Gucci Man is there. Cassidy is there. And there's 40 people there. 40, the real...
Gucci was there. Yo Gotti was there. All the hot rappers in the game was there. And Fat Joe smelt blood. Remy Ma's husband is there, I'm about to beat his ass.
He's going to come out. There was 40 people there. I knock on room 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106.
Oh my God. He in the hotel flipping the fuck out. All you hear is his big ass footprints going door to door. Knock, 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 knock. Open the door. It's Gucci. What's up, man? Oh, my bad, Gucci. I'm looking for somebody else. Knock, 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 knock. Yo Gotti answered the door. What's up, man? Oh, my bad, homie. I'm looking for somebody else. Knock, 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 knock. He out of his mind over Remy Ma, y'all. Look at this.
107, 108, 110. The door opens. There's 30 people in the room. Sweets, girls.
He searched the whole motherfucking hotel. He on the elevator, knuckles bleeding, knocking on doors. Listen.
40, the real story's gonna come out. There was 40 people there. I knock on room 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 110. The door opens. There's 30 people in the room. Sweets, girls, everybody smoking blunts. Cassidy's there, Papoose there. I walk in with 3 dudes. 3 dudes, I walk up in there. I'm on promo tour. I walk in there with 3 dudes. When I get in there, I don't know when I walk in that door, Papoose got 30 dudes with him.
Well, damn.
I walk up in there, I ask him, what's poppin', homie? What's good?
Yo, what's love got to do with it? You got 3 dudes, Papoose got 30 of them, and you still want beef? Hold up.
In that door, Papoose got 30 dudes with him. I walk up in there, I ask him, what's poppin', homie? What's good? Do you have a problem with me? I'll tell you the truth, I was hoping he would have said no, and I would have went back upstairs to eat my dinner. So you know what you're saying? He's running around the room, jumping over. You know what they got hotel rooms, Envy, when you're on the road, they got the little kitchen in there? He jumps over the wall and traps himself in the corner. Right?
Oh my
God. So I go
God.
up in there, I say, yo, Papoose, dude, we...
Hold on. He said Papoose hid in the corner and jumped in the wall. And he still went over to him. He running, jumping over furniture. He tried to hide in the goddamn stove. All them people in the party, Papoose trying to get away from his big ass, and he still want beef. Listen.
On the room, jumping over. You know what they got hotel rooms, Envy, when you're on the road, they got the little kitchen in there? He jumps over the wall and traps himself in the corner. Right? So I go up in there, I say, yo, Papoose, do we have a problem, homie? He says, well, you want it to be a problem? At that point, he caught what we call the beats.
Oh my God.
Right? His man's jump in the way. His DJ, did he tell you his DJ is in?
Oh my God. This was before Dr. Dre came out with the Beats by Dre. Papoose caught the beats. As soon as he said, it wasn't even that much talking involved. He wanted him to say something so he could smack him in his mouth, y'all. All over Remy Ma. So when you see them together and they terror squadded up and they the only terror squad members left, you got to wonder why that is.
Hospital still. His man jumps in the way, got 2-piece Bloody Mary. His whole face is ripped up.
Oh my God.
Right? His man, he got some real good human shields. His other man, who's his best friend, his lip looked like an 18-wheeler tire when we was done with that boy.
Oh my God.
When they finally had enough, Papoose never threw a punch. He's crouched down. I felt so sorry for this boy, Miss Jones. I gave him the beats. I was telling him, you better respect me. This is the beats. I felt so sorry for this boy right here. I let him.
Yo, how could they ever, possibly ever be cool again after this? 2021, Papoose and Remy Ma loving hip hop, and his Uncle Joe. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Fat Joe. I'm your uncle. And Papoose is cool with that. Y'all want to know what it is, man? And shout out to Papoose. I got love for you, brother. Remy Ma, all y'all. You know, this is just a documentary of speculations. I'm just talking shit. You know what I'm saying? But the only way this could possibly work is if Papoose is an opportunist. And I say that with the utmost respect, but you got to understand, you married Remy Ma when she was in jail. People looking at him with the cross eyes like, okay, he's like, I know when she get out, it's going to be popping. My rap career ain't really working like that. 2 incomes is better than 1. We can make this work. What do Papoose do? You know what I'm saying? Where he worked, I'm pretty sure he got a way to get a bag, but if it wasn't for Fat Joe, neither one of them would have a bag. So it's like, damn, I just got to accept the fact that this is her dude. What was that movie, Dead Presidents, where the dude went to Vietnam and he came home and found out his baby mom was messing around with Cuddy, and Cuddy was buying the groceries and buying stuff for the kids. And when he got out of line with Cuddy, he whooped that ass. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up for y'all.
And I'm mad that I let him go. I felt sorry for this guy. Papoose, he's like, oh, you know, running out the room. He caught a couple of snuffs on the way out, too. Boom, we walk out the room. So I'm walking out. Papoose says, Joe, can I talk to you, man? Please, can I talk to you, Joe? Please, can I talk to you? Please, please. Please, can I talk to you? I'm like, all right, I come down the hall. Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Again, Papoose.
He said after he beat his ass, he followed him down the hallway, begging, Joe, don't go, Joe. You're going to fuck up the money. Remy ain't going to talk to me no more, Joe. Can I talk to you? Joe, wait. After he done bloody his whole face up, y'all. Y'all tell me something ain't going on.
Abuse. If you put me lined up next to Papoose, this is abuse. The fact that anyone in New York City would entertain the fact that Papoose, the dude is on the internet now for getting punched in his face doing a stripper dance on a pole by some other dudes a month ago. Then they beat his man down to death, and he's standing there looking at them beating up his man. This guy here, sniff Fat Joe.
Hold on, y'all got to see this real quick. We gonna get back to that, but this reminds me, just in case y'all ain't seen the movie Dead Presidents. Listen.
Hey, young blood. Bringing in the groceries, huh?
This Fat Joe and Papoose.
And I remember when I was married, I used to love to bring home. Made me feel like a man.
Hold on. Look.
Hey, listen, young. I just dropped by to see Juanita and Sarah, you know. Those.
Uh-oh. Papoose mad.
You know, young blood. Kill your woman, baby, when man ought to get a little respect or something. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I care about
I care about Remy.
I care about a whole lot. Back now. Gone. So from this point on, like a friend of the family. You find yourself in a jam and shit need cash, come see me.
Come see Joe.
Listen, I know about pride.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all got to see this.
Now I laid a little cash on Juanita.
Man, stay the fuck away from my family. You heard me, goddammit. I said stay the fuck away from my family.
See, I ain't the enemy,
Y'all got to see this. Somebody help Papoose. Oh, somebody help him. Fat Joe put them hands on him. Oh my God, somebody help Papoose.
The realest rapper ever rapped in history? That's what you're telling me? I spoke to him. I asked him 40 times, Miss.
Run that back. Run it.
Papoose is Joe. Can I talk to you, man? Respectful. This is the beats. I felt so.
Listen,
in the corner, right? So I go up in there. I say, yo, Papoose, do we have a problem, homie? He says, well, you want it to be a problem? At that point, he caught what we call the beats. Right? His man's jump in the way. His DJ, did he tell you his DJ is in the hospital still?
His DJ's still in the hospital. They beat him up that bad.
He jumps in the way, got 2-piece Bloody Mary. His whole face is ripped up. Right? His man, he got some real good human shields. His other man, who's his best friend, his lip looked like an 18-wheeler tire when we was done with that boy. When they finally had enough, Papoose never threw a punch. He's crouched down. I felt so sorry for this boy, Miss Jones. I gave him the beats. I was telling him, you better respect me. This is the beats. I felt so sorry for this boy right here. I let him go, and I'm mad that I let him go. I felt sorry for this guy. Papoose, he's like, oh, you know, running out the room. He caught a couple of snuffs on the way out, too. Boom, we walk out the room, so I'm walking out. Papoose is, Joe, can I talk to you, man? Please, can I talk to you, Joe? Please, can I talk to you? Please, please. Please, can I talk to you? I'm like, all right, I come down the hall. Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Again, Papoose, this is abuse. If you put me lined up next to Papoose.
He had to explain to him. Look, man, do you want to fight again? This is abuse, Papoose. I done already whooped your ass. Look at you. You bloody. Your DJ in the hospital. I don't know how you going to do your show tomorrow. Your best friend lips look like an 18-wheeler ran over the motherfuckers. This is abuse, Papoose. You might want to leave me alone.
This is abuse. The fact that anyone in New York City would entertain the fact that Papoose, the dude is on the internet now for getting punched in his face doing a stripper dance on a pole by some other dudes a month ago. Then they beat his man down to death, and he's standing there looking at them beating up his man. This guy here, Snuff Fat Joe cracked the realest rapper ever rap in history? That's what you're telling me? I spoke to him. I asked him 40 times, Miss Jones, but let me know, do you want to buy? I said, Papoose, there's only 3 of us here, Papoose.
Joey, let me ask you something.
Listen, don't run back. He called me, begged me to come down there to talk to him. And he ain't tell you that he...
If he'd do this to Remy Ma's husband over Remy, what you think he'd do to Big Pun for Remy? And I ain't saying that's the case, but I'm just saying, ever since Pun was out of the picture, him and Remy been blowing up. And mind you, like I said earlier, Pun was the one that discovered Remy. So if Pun was still in the picture, all that Remy, all the way up money would be Big Pun's money. Listen, y'all.
His watch.
He did say that.
All right, he told you that.
He
so
said
he's
that.
He's begging me, yo, can I get my watch back? I don't got your watch, Papoose.
He didn't say that.
He's begging me. I'm telling you the truth. He's begging me. You know what the problem is, Miss Jones? That before we report these media takeouts and gossip stuff and stuff like that, we should check up with everybody to find out what's right and what's wrong. What's the story? Why don't you call Yo Gotti? I'm sure Envy knows Gucci Man. You know the guy who busts his guns? Gucci Man, the realest rapper for ATL, who shoots people all the time? Call him. So he could tell you. Call 40 other people that were there who seen it. This is such a shame.
Everybody seen it. Gucci seen it. Yo, they all seen Papoose get that ass spanked in New York. And now he on Love and Hip Hop with Remy Ma. Come on, man.
Such a shame what they trying to do to me. 50 Cent with all this internet stuff. This is disrespect.
But why don't you go say, why haven't you ever gone to 50 to, like, it seems like he's the bottom, the brewing of this.
I asked 50 million times.
Like, why aren't you fighting him?
Listen, I asked 50 a million times to let me fight him. Miss Jones,
you don't ask him, though.
50 would have whooped his fat ass. And this ain't no disrespect to Fat Joe, but you would have been winded. Can you do 10 push-ups? I'm just saying. But that's Negro here, no there. Listen.
To fight him, you just run up and Papoose him.
All right, you know what you do to him? And then there's 20 security guards.
This woman got an attitude. She hate Fat Joe. Say, you don't ask, you just run up and Papoose him. She wanted to see Fat Joe get his ass beat.
A million times to let me fight him. Miss Jones,
you don't ask him, though. If you could fight him, you just run up and Papoose him.
She ain't got no business on the radio. This woman got mental health issues. Don't ask her to fight you, just run up and Papoose him. Somebody need to get her medication.
Trying to do to me 50 Cent with all this internet stuff. This is disrespect.
But why don't you go say, why haven't you ever gone to 50 to, like, it seems like he's the bottom, the brewing of this.
I asked 50 million times.
Like, why aren't you fighting him?
Listen, I asked 50 a million times to let me fight him. Miss Jones,
you don't ask him, though. If you could fight him, you just run up and Papoose him.
All right, you know what you do to him? And then there's 20 security guards there who are police.
At least you got yours off.
No, you don't get yours off because he'll hide behind them and he won't get his off. You understand what I'm saying? He's gonna hide behind them like
Papoose said you got 9 security.
He's a liar, but you want to know what, Miss Jones?
Cops with you.
You want to know what, Miss Jones? Hip Hop Weekly.
Now, I can go on and on about the Remy Ma situation, but y'all got to hear from Remy herself. Now, she was locked up, and a lot of y'all know the story, and a lot of y'all don't. Remy got locked up because she shot her friend over some money. Now, that just goes to show, like Fat Joe said a little while ago, he called her a bum-ass female. I ain't gonna call her that. But if you would shoot somebody over a couple of thousands, that lets you know where she was at with it. She was a real street female like that. And Fat Joe claims that he took her out the projects, bought her Benzes, basically tricking off on Remy. You know, because if that wasn't the case, he wouldn't have said it like that. Now listen to Remy Ma. She rapping in jail. She said, I go to jail like Medea, still come home and smack her when I see her. Now I see why they signed her and everything, spitting like that. But that ain't the only way she was spitting, according to other people. And this ain't no disrespect to Remy, because if I seen Remy walking down the street, I'm gonna cross the street. If she start crossing the street, I'm gonna start running. If she start running, I'm gonna call the police. If the police don't show up, I'm gonna pray to Jesus. If Jesus don't show up, I'm gonna just sit there and let her whoop my ass. So Remy Ma, I don't want no smoke with you or nothing like that. But what they saying is that you had something going on with Big Pun, then all of a sudden Big Pun passed away, and then they talking about you had something going on with Fat Joe, and it's starting to look like that's the reason why Big Pun was out the picture. Now, I don't believe that, but people in the comment section might feel different about it, but we got to continue on with this documentary.
They know what was good. That shit must belong.
Okay, she rapping for like 10 minutes straight. I should have peeped that before I even got this together for you. Now, listen to Fat Joe speaking about how he felt after Big Pun passed away, y'all.
When Pun passed away, I went through depression. But I'm not just saying depression lightly. Real depression. It was him, my sister, and my grandfather at the same time. So I was going through so much, and
y'all hear that? Whenever somebody pass with one of these celebrities, it's not just one person. It's the family members, the best friend, they all start passing around the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like Megan Thee Stallion, it was her mother, her grandmother, and somebody else. So y'all got to peep this out, man.
They doubted me. Everybody, my closest friends. One night, that same building we came from, my mother and father refused to move out the Bronx, even though I had money then. And New Year's Eve, I got a tuxedo on. I'm in their house. Happy New Year. And I'm about to go outside and party. But I always spend New Year's with my family. And I come down the staircase in the projects, and this is like 5 of my best friends on earth. And they arguing with each other. And they like, yo, he's done. Joe's over. He's done. He's another thing I tell you, I believe God made me see that. So I come out the staircase and I'm hearing the people I would die for talking about, like, I'm rich. Like, I ain't got to be in the hood. I'm still playing softball with these guys.
He talking about, he came outside to hear his best friends out there talking about Fat Joe is done. Big Pun is going to take over. He the hottest Puerto Rican rapper. And he listened like, I know they can't be saying this about me. After I done fed your stinking ass and I'm supposed to be a best friend, y'all talking about I'm done because of this dude? Listen.
Still hanging out with them. I'm still trying to keep it real. You need rent money, I give you rent money. You go to jail, I bail you out. These are the guys that were talking about me, and God put me in that position. It was almost like a General Hospital or a soap opera. So one of my friends was like, you crazy, Joe's a hustler. He put Pun on, and you crazy this. So I came out, I was like, yo, y'all really believe that? And like, y'all think it's over for me? And that put something in me to go record big records. And even though I discovered Big Pun, the truth is he taught me how to make hit records. So he's literally sat me down. Like, I wouldn't do that for nobody no more. Literally sat me down, was like, yo, right about here, you gotta talk to the girls, Joe. Right about here, we gotta keep it gangster. Here, we gotta keep the work. And he literally.
So basically, Big Pun was the one that was helping him make them hit songs, helping him with his raps. Like, yo, this is how you do it, man. This is how you put a song together. We need to do this. Big Pun was basically the CEO. So yes, he was in debt to Big Pun. And like I said, I'm not trying to say that Fat Joe pulled the trigger or he did some crazy Hollywood ritual to get rid of Big Pun. But everybody knew that this man was obese. Even his fans was like, damn, if I can just spend 5 minutes with Big Pun, I'm going to tell him to slow down. You shouldn't eat that. You too fat. You're going to have a heart attack or something. It was clear that he had some issues. But when your so-called friends is treating you like a circus act and they don't care about your well-being like that, a lot of people say, oh, we tried to tell Pun to lose weight, but it was nothing you can do. If it ain't nothing you can do and you around somebody that's destroying themselves, I don't want to be around you. Because to see you hurting, that's going to hurt me. We ain't even cool no more like that. Matter of fact, I don't need people like you in my circle. You don't give a fuck about you, then it's going to be hard for me to give a fuck about you. But I ain't going to stick around and act like everything cool, because it's not. I love you enough to leave you alone, bruh. But ain't none of them do that. So if you want to talk about sacrifice, there's a whole lot of people you can consider sacrifice Big Pun, because they didn't have his best interests at heart. They had their own best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? Listen at this.
He showed me. So I knew what nobody else knew. Before Pun died, I was cool with just killing 1 million people, throwing the army fatigue on, Don Cartagena. But once he passed, I got used to the money. I got used to the fame. So I was like, oh, we got to hit some home runs. So we did the We Thug Him.
Hold on, wait a minute. As soon as he passed, I got used to the money. I got used to the lavish life. So is that the reason why people talking about you didn't give his family what they deserve? Because we're about to get into that right now, y'all.
With R. Kelly, then we did the What's Love. We had the My Lifestyle. That was a serious run. It was a lot to prove.
Chronicles Fat Joe. Tuesdays.
Yo, man. That's some heavy stuff. Now, y'all just heard this man say after Big Pun passed, he got used to having the money, the exotic cars, and going platinum, because Big Pun was the one that taught him how to do that. Big Pun was the one that put him in the game and showed him how to make them hit records so he can live that lavish life. Now, I'm about to play y'all a clip of Big Pun's sister saying that Big Pun's wife was in front of Fat Joe's house waiting to kill Fat Joe. And the reason why she was waiting to kill Fat Joe allegedly is because he would not pay the family the money that he owed to Big Pun. But Remy Ma got Benzes and Rolls Royces. And when she get a new boyfriend, Fat Joe pulling up to the hotel to beat his ass. Listen at this, man. I can't make this stuff up.
So there's issues, it looks like, between yourself and Liza, Big Pun's wife, widow. Did I hear this correctly, that you said that you thought she was waiting on Fat Joe at one point because she wanted to do harm to Fat Joe? She wanted to kill Fat Joe.
Yeah, she was waiting. She was waiting in the car in front of his house.
This is Big Pun's sister, y'all. Like I said, Nikki Rodriguez.
She was waiting in the car in front of his house with Nairi, my brother's other sister. My brother has 2 sisters and a brother from his father's side. So Nairi, who had just kind of like reunited with my brother after many, many years not seeing him, and began a relationship with Liza, and they got very close. And she was with her, waiting for Joe to come to take him out, but Joe never came home. So, thank God, because he could have been dead.
They was waiting in the car outside of his house. Big Pun's sister and Big Pun's sister and Big Pun's wife waiting to take out Fat Joe. Like, we got to get him. What can build up so much hatred and animosity towards a person to where y'all on a stakeout, 2 grown-ass women got kids at home? What type of conversation do you have before this all take place? They know something that the public don't know. Listen, man.
Is it safe for me to ask you how you know this?
Yeah, of course you could ask me. in 2000, again, the time, the years might be wrong. It was like 2006, something like that. I remember the exact time, but I had linked up with Liza on the phone, and the thing about her, how can I say it? I sometimes wonder, does she think before she talks? Because she spills a lot, and I don't think that she really like says to herself, let me think before I let things out. So through the conversation, she was talking about the way Joe did her dirty, and that she's gonna get him, and that she was out, not at that moment, but that she prior to was with Nyree outside his house, to take him out because of the whole money thing. Before, when she was trying to get money from him and he wasn't giving. So, yeah. So that's how I know about that.
To be clear, her intention was she was gonna squeeze on Fat Joe herself.
Yeah. And I will take and I would love to take a lie detector test that she told me. And I would love for her to take the lie detector test that she never told me that.
Yo, she true Boricua. When you say she told me, yo, that's how Tekashi 6ix9ine be talking sometimes. I love y'all to death, man. Yo, shout out to my Puerto Rican people out there, man. I'm gonna be in the Bronx this summer, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be there for the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And if you ask me if I'm Puerto Rican, I'm a lie. But that's Negro here nor there. Let's get back to this, man.
I'll pay for it.
Yo, she said she'll pay for the lie detector test. She ain't got no reason to lie. Now I need y'all to listen to Big Pun's wife, because a lot of people say she doped out, coked out, but this ain't no disrespect to Big Pun or his beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? I think she had a struggle, but a lot of people feel like the reason why Fat Joe don't want to give her no money is because she ain't gonna do nothing but mess it up. And it is some people like that to where you feel like if you give them the money, that's going to be like throwing it down the drain, especially. And yo, I'm not saying, matter of fact, let me tell y'all a quick little story real quick. And let me get this set up so I can tell my story before we get into Big Pun's wife. Because I mean this with the utmost respect and the utmost love. But back in the day, y'all, thisis50.com, she was doing a couple of interviews, and I was in the comment section just speaking my mind about her interview. And I had a back and forth with Big Pun's wife. And I was just telling her, like, why didn't y'all cook better food? You was his wife. You complaining now. What about when he was alive? He needed that love and support. I'm pretty sure he would have did anything for y'all if y'all was willing to do anything for him. Y'all spent up this man's money while he over there wobbling and waddling. Ain't nobody say, look, baby, I love you. You gonna stop this. Come home for dinner, Pun. We having tuna fish sandwiches and that's it. And you might get a couple of Lay's potato chips. It was your job as the wifey to put some healthy food on that man's plate. If he don't want to eat it, damn it, I want a divorce. And she was going on, he was a grown man. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I loved him. And I know that she did. But I'm just saying, and it's too late to cry over spilt milk. And for his son, Big Pun Jr., your lyrics is hot, bro. And keep on doing your thing. For his daughter, all of his beautiful family, look, your boy Blaze ain't got nothing but love for y'all, but we got to get into the rest of this documentary. And I promise you, I don't mean to be malicious with this, but Fat Joe and Remy Ma is still holding down the terror squad as a unit. There's plenty of other situations where you see the same thing happening. I'm talking about Ike and Tina, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Ricky Lake and her husband. I can go on and on. Whenever you see that male-female duo, it ain't because they like to play cards together. I'm just being real, y'all. And with Big Pun out the picture, they have no obligations for their relationship, But let's listen to what Big Pun's beautiful wife got to say, y'all. Here we go.
And you also openly talked about the abuse. How are you able to deal with it for so many years? Do you feel?
Hold on, wait. And this is another thing I want to say about his wife before we go on. She always talking about, Big Pun abused me. He used to beat me. He abused me. Y'all was abusing him with them Whoppers. And McDonald's every day. Come on, McDonald's. Like, no McDonald's. That's abuse. When you feeding somebody and they don't need no food. Listen.
Very candid about your relationship with Pun and what transpired. And you also openly talked about the abuse. How are you able to deal with it for so many years? Do you feel like it was just because you really didn't know anything out of that, or was it something that you just didn't really know was a problem at that time? I mean,
it's through the grace of God that I've survived. I never knew what domestic violence was until I was in it, and even when I was in it, I still didn't know what was going on. Like, I didn't know. I thought it was me.
Your husband is dead. You know what I'm saying? It's not the time to talk about. People play the victim, but if that's her truth, if that's her story, and that's her life, and that's what she want to talk about, then I guess I understand. I can't speak on that woman's behalf, but just from the outside looking in, why you got to dog this man out and he don't passed on? Let's just remember him for being a great guy, and that's going to be hard to get some money when you're trying to get some money from an abusive husband. You know.
Happening a lot with even men. There's a lot of women, men as well. It's not just a man thing. So eventually I started like educating myself, listening to Oprah. There was a time around the '90s, Oprah and the Sally, Jessica Raphael, and it was all about domestic violence. So I started learning, and realizing that it wasn't my fault, and basically.
She started healing herself with Oprah Winfrey shows on domestic violence.
Abuser, it doesn't matter what face, what race, how much money, it basically has a certain pattern. So I basically started learning the pattern and just looking at my own life and looking at fun and trying to realize, and then you think, he was abused when he was young, you know what I'm saying? And also, when you're abused and you go through so much when you're young, and when you grow older and you see people that hate and anger inside, you don't deal with it, it was easy for him to turn that way. He didn't like being that way. A lot of people got upset because I spoke about it, but it was my life. I decided to speak about it and free myself, my kids, and my husband of that demon. He apologized in the wishful thinking. He basically says, I wish I could make my wife forget her tears, but physical back her best years. So I don't, obviously people are not listening to the lyrics, or, they're not really paying attention because he...
Hold up. Now I'm confused. I can kind of understand where Fat Joe coming from with not giving her the money. How you gonna dog this man? Now, one thing I say about Fat Joe, he always show Big Pun the utmost respect. I'm pretty sure he got plenty of stories he could share about Big Pun. It was a time he couldn't make it to the bathroom, and I said, Pun, you ain't gonna boo-boo in my car. And then there was a porta potty, and he couldn't fit in the porta potty and had to go behind the tree. He ain't telling them type of stories about Big Pun. Every time you hear Fat Joe talk about Pun, he was the greatest lyricist alive. He was a great person. He was a hot rapper. I know he got stories. There was one time, man, I was watching a movie and some popcorn. I don't know what that smell was. I look over and Big Pun was laughing, man. He farted all in the movie theater. He not telling no stories. And best believe, y'all, he got stories. But his wife is out here throwing dirt on this man's name. And he like, hey, y'all gonna have to let me know how y'all feel about it. Let me get back to this.
Apologize publicly. Because people say, how could you, keep fighting for him and support him? And, I love my husband unconditionally. What transpired between us, it was unfortunate, but I loved him to death, and he was in pain, and I understood that. It was hard for him to let go, and he would just express his anger that way with me. He knew I would never leave. He knew I was there, and it was express the anger with me. And the kids, suffered a lot through it because they seen a lot.
But they were never abusive towards them.
They were abused. He used to hit my daughter Star
Oh
at the
my
beginning.
God.
They stopped when she was young. And what he
Wait-
did,
wait a
form
minute.
of discipline, like if
Wait a minute. Were the kids abused? Oh, yeah, they was abused. He used to hit my dog. We talking about a hip-hop superstar here. Like, Big Pun is hip-hop royalty here. Everybody have their demons. We understand that. People want to talk about Cisco and what he do in his personal life. I'm pretty sure wouldn't nobody want to be listening to the thong song. You might have to change that shit to the wrong song by how he was living. Oh, Cisco, he burnt me with a hot comb. His baby mama ain't sharing them type of stories. Listen at this, man.
argue or
She said he abused. Did he abuse you? Oh, he was beating my daughter when she was young, but when she was young, that's worse. How old was she?
At the beginning, that he stopped when she was young, and why he suffered a lot through it because they seen a lot. He
But they were never abusive towards them.
They were abused. He used to hit my daughter Star at the beginning, that he stopped when she was young, and why he did a form of discipline, like if they will argue or kids will act up, he will make them box. But then now the box, instead of it being a form of
God damn,
to show them
that's worse than Mike Vick. At least Mike Vick was fighting pit bull dogs. She talking about Big Pun was fighting his own goddamn kids. Like, I got $20 on Maria. Go get her, Tony. He's sitting there like Tony Montana. Who's your Tony? Got the kids beating the blood out of each other. And this woman speaking about it on the public platform. It's okay, no recuerdo. Come to Papa. Fly, baby, fly. Daddy, I don't want to fight. It's okay.
Themselves and teach it, because I don't have a problem with them teaching them defensive skills and boxing and about whatever, but it is a line that you cross when it becomes abusive. Right. When you come home at 3, 4 in the morning, you're waking up kids and they're going blow for blow with no gloves, nothing. There's blood everywhere, and
wait a minute. She said he come home 3, 4 in the morning, wake up the kids, no boxing gloves, no nothing. They sleepy as fuck. Blood everywhere. Big Pun, that's right, mama. Beat his ass. I heard he ate your last cookie. We don't play about food, mama. Is she serious? Listen at this.
There's a line that you cross when it becomes abusive. Right. When you come home at 3, 4 in the morning, you're waking up kids and they're going blow for blow with no gloves, nothing. There's blood everywhere, and they stomping each other out, and you're forced to bite each other and do all this crazy stuff.
Kids stomping each other the fuck out with the Timberland boots on. They being forced to bite each other. Now bite that motherfucker. Get his leg. Get his leg. Why is she saying this stuff? Look, Fat Joe, if you listening, bro, scratch everything I said about the whole... I know this not funny, but this is ridiculous. I'm talking all this, the love affair between Fat Joe and Remy Ma. No, he just ain't want to pay this woman. They fighting each other. Can you imagine Big Pun forcing his kids to fight and they bleeding and bite her again. Listen at this, man.
Well, how about I have to ask this question because you have to do some interviews on
Run that back.
When you come home at 3, 4 in the morning, you're waking up kids and they're teaching them defensive skills and boxing and about whatever, but it is a line that you cross when it becomes abusive. When you come home at 3, 4 in the morning, you're waking up kids and they're going blow for blow with no gloves, nothing. There's blood everywhere, and they stomping each other out, and you're forced to bite each other and do all this crazy stuff. It's abuse.
Well, how about?
And then she laughed. She's a demon. Ain't no reason why she should be laughing. She was over the top. Yeah, rumpa rumpa, do it again. Like, mommy, I don't want to fight. Bite him, dude. Bite the nigga. The fuck? Yo, y'all gonna have to subscribe to the channel, man. And hit that like button too. Because I ain't trying to expose nobody, but y'all heard what she said. I can't make this stuff up, man. You know what I'm saying? Also, hit that Cash App, $ Sean Blaze Dots. Let's get into the rest of this, man.
I have to ask this question because you have to do some interviews on this. How about Fat Joe? What's his element?
Oh, he was not on the documentary.
And now, talking about Fat Joe, you've had your, I guess you can say, your thoughts on him and what has happened, what has transpired since Pun's, passing away. Mm-hmm. And right now, you guys really aren't on the best of terms.
Yeah, we haven't been on the best of terms in a while. It's basically I'm asking proof of loyalty, so forth, and I have not yet seen anything. As far as my end with Pun, Pun has made a lot of money for people, and continues to make money for them. But Pun doesn't get paid. When you hear songs out there, iTunes ringtone, Pun is not getting a check. So if Pun is not getting a check, the kids are not getting it.
Right. Would you like to be reconciled between you and him to some degree? Would you like to have a conversation?
But I don't really need a conversation with him or to be friends or let's be buddies. I really don't need him in my life in that sense. My whole thing was get what Pun rightfully deserves. You know, he was a great artist. He worked.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the royalties.
If there's basically money due to him, it should be his. It should be the kids. So that's basically when my husband passed, I promised him that I will always have his back, and that's something where I try to look after that for him. It hasn't come about that way, so I decided to let it go.
Okay, this is what I gotta try to understand. And this woman, she's a beautiful woman. Like I said, man, no disrespect to Big Pun's wife or his family or his kids or nothing like that. But what I'm wondering is, when he was coming home with them big ass Terror Squad chains and all that jewelry and all that money and them cars, and you got money to give to Remy Ma, but your family is not straight. What about the money he had before he passed? Y'all ain't had no savings plan. And I know people from the hood get money and don't do the right things by the money. But the scary thing is, let's say you do get all this Big Pun money. Where that money gonna go? And I know y'all thinking like, well, shit, you're just gonna have to find out. Give her the money and whatever happens, happens. But according to Fat Joe, she already had plenty of money. He already gave the money. You turned around and she put the money up. I don't gave you Big Pun's money. What more do you want? I'm gonna be paying y'all forever and ever. And whenever y'all need something, and that's the type of relationship I wouldn't want to have. I'm just being real. But like my man said earlier, if Pun loaned you $10 million, I don't know where they getting this narrative from, and this is all alleged information. If Pun did loan Fat Joe all his money, then Fat Joe owes Big Pun. But if you got to give it to this woman, then it's just a messed up situation. I pray for his whole family, man. But obviously, Fat Joe not good with money. He went to jail on some taxes, talking about his accountant robbed him. But you beat the blood out of Papoose for sleeping with Remy Ma. What did y'all do to the accountant? But that's Negro here nor there. I just had to put that out there because it's sketchy. If I had the money and I had to give it to her, if that's my homie's wife, you know what I would do? I would give it to the kids. Put it in the trust fund. When y'all turn 18, when y'all grown, and y'all can get the money, this gonna pay for y'all college, whatever y'all need. That's what I would have did. You know what I'm saying? Because this woman, she waiting outside your house, waiting to kill you. You ain't getting a dime from me. So Fat Joe, I agree with you. A lot of people going to disagree with me. And for my Boricua people out there, y'all know the story better than I know it. So I ain't trying to offend nobody. I'm just giving my perspective and everything. Boricua, 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 woo-hoo-hoo. That stands for Puerto Rican and Black. So we all united. You know what I'm saying? I could go into the history and everything, but I ain't going to do that just because I ain't got that silky way. And you know, all my Spanish friends, they use that spritz or that stuff to make your hair wavy. So, you know, y'all just as much as negrita as I am. So y'all need to cut that out. Don't be threatening me in the comment section because y'all know I love Big Pun and his family. Let's just get back to this, man.
Like I said, I don't. You know, I tried many times to reach out to Joe, and you know, just on this aspect, and it's nothing. So I just left it alone.
Why do you think he was so against kind of having that conversation, even if it was to make amends?
I have no idea. That's only something that he can answer. I have never done anything personal to him. Even when Pun was alive, I didn't have any type of
negativity towards him.
like towards and it was just after he passed away. I just wanted to certain things when Pun passed away, things had to happen.
Let me say this too, man. And I promise you, I'm not trying to be funny, and this ain't no disrespect or nothing like that. But I would imagine, now this is a beautiful young lady, his Big Pun's wife. But I would imagine if he had like a supermodel type of baby mama, like that had herself well together and kept herself together and looked good, and Maria was just a sweet lady and everything, I'm pretty sure Fat Joe would be looking out. Because that's what most men do. Even if you ain't got nothing going on with your best friend's baby mama, your best friend's passed. But a lot of times they be banging their best friends, you know, baby moms and everything. But Fat Joe like, mama, I can't do nothing for you. Go get a job. You stink. Go get a job. I ain't gonna be able to do it for you. But if she looked like Jennifer Lopez, then, you know, he'll probably help out. Listen at this, man.
And then, you know, Pun also had a lot of artist friends. Have any of them reached out and had conversations with you?
No,
about
the only
anything?
people I've definitely stayed in contact over the 10 years has been Cuban and Triple Bass. I haven't seen Prospect and Armageddon. I haven't seen, as far as the industry, like people in the industry that, you know, just regular industry heads, I have not, they don't keep in touch. And I'm not a type of person who's going to be chasing anybody or calling anybody. So no one's kept in touch. So I definitely will be there to open them and make sure that they can get to where they gotta go without the extra drama.
Extra drama, no pun intended, right?
That was crazy, man. So I say all that to say, man, Big Pun, rest in peace, big bro. Everything you went through in your life, it was all worth it. Your family, I know they're a bunch of beautiful people and everything. And Fat Joe, if you listening, bro, this ain't no disrespect towards you or Remy Ma. I'm just saying, Remy is fine. And she came home from jail looking even better. And she hopped her thick ass in your lap. And now y'all all the way up. They said you made that song about having an erection when you seen Remy Ma. And I can understand, man. She come home with them big Dumbo breasts and everything. I think she fine. I know you think she fine. But I just had to put that out there. Because if you look in the description box of this video, it says there's been a whole lot of rumors going around. And this video is to debunk those rumors, not to create rumors and false allegations and things like that. Because these is a couple of my favoriteest artists in the whole wide world. And I would never want to see nothing bad happen to Remy or Fat Joe and Big Pun. Rest in peace, big baby. I got so much love for you. And for the rest of y'all out there, man, make sure y'all do me a favor. I need y'all to do me a big favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification button. Don't forget to show me some love and hit that Cash App too. And for all you ladies out there thinking to yourself, he crazy. He's saying this stuff about these people. This is some dangerous business. But y'all ain't know that
risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl.
Sean got the jocks. I'm keeping it funky like some socks. Ponytail with the box, and my cell phone look like a box. Try not to get shell shocked.